All right, so the dust just settled in Montreal and we have a new champion of the world. Still remember the name, Belal Muhammad, because that was an insane fight from start to finish. Jack Della Maddalena, Belal Muhammad put on an instant classic. It was a fight to remember, and it's the type of fight, I tweeted this earlier, it's the type of fight that when you're retired and you look back at your career, performances like that, battles like that, absolute wars from start to finish like that are what makes you proud to be a fighter. However, tonight, when the dust settled, the new champ was Jack Della Maddalena. Belal Muhammad was defeated soundly, but he showed up and he made Jack Della Maddalena work for it. However, on the judges' scorecards, 49-46, 48-47, 48-47. 4-1 to Jack or 3-2 for Jack. Either way, both men should be proud. Of course, Jack Della Maddalena being the new champion has a lot of options, and we'll get to that later. Islam Makhachev has already tweeted, it's time to become a double champion.
What do you think about that?
I think it's a beautiful challenge. You know, he's pound for pound number one. I'm going to get him back for Volk.
But let's talk about the fight. We knew it was the boxing versus the wrestling. And we know that Belal Muhammad talked about having great boxing like Canelo Alvarez. Well, I'll tell you what, tonight, the hands look better than ever. The problem was that Jack Della Maddalena is sensational. When it comes to boxing, he is beautiful. He was picking his shots. He was quick. He was slick. He was in. He was out. He was cutting angles. He was landing right hands at will. It was fantastic. But Belal Muhammad, he was right there the whole time. And if you look at the strike stats, Belal Muhammad wasn't far behind. The problem for Belal, though, was that Jack Della Maddalena, in the early part of the fight, was able to control the geography of the ring. He was able to put the wrestler on the back foot. And that's what you want to do. If you have the ability to stop the takedowns, which he did almost every single time. The takedown defense was fantastic. Of course, Belal got him down later in the fight. We'll get to that. But if you've got the hips, if you've got the know-how, if you can put the wrestler on the back foot, then you are on to a winner. The boxing was fantastic. The shot selection was tremendous. He was throwing a lot of knees that just missed Belal Muhammad. Of course, he was expecting the takedown. No doubt drilled that knee many times in training, and he did land it in the fifth round, opened up a big cut on the cheek of Belal Muhammad. Both men at the end of this one were covered in blood. It was non-stop action. Jack won round one. He won round two. Belal was right there. Round three comes out like a bat out of hell, turns on the pressure, turns on the gas, refused to be beaten, knows that the fight is maybe slipping out of his grasp and that the title is going to be at stake, and I really respect that of Belal. He went forward, he took a lot of shots. I'm telling you right now, the chin of Belal Muhammad was on display tonight. That man can take a shot. I thought he was going to get finished in the fifth round. It looked like it. And then, of course, he hits a double leg takedown right when he needed it, but Jack Della Maddalena was able to get back to the feet. It was all-out war from start to finish. Beautiful mixed martial arts at the highest level. The takedown that Belal got, it was beautiful. Textbook stuff. Level changes, shoots in, grabs a hold around the waist, turns the corner, sits him down, starts doing some ground and pound. Jack takes a few shots off his back and he's like, I've got to get up, mate. Simple as that. Beautiful jiu-jitsu, gets back to his feet and then goes right back to work, drilling Belal Muhammad with beautiful, vicious shots. As I said, Belal landed some really good shots, but it just wasn't enough. Tonight, they were saying he needs to use the game plan that he had against Leon Edwards. Yeah, sure, go forward, get a hold of him, pick him up, take him down, control him on the ground. He was trying to do that, but Jack Della Maddalena was just the better man. He was too quick, he was too slick, and he was too technical. But it was a tremendous fight. Well done to both men. And of course, to the new champion, Australia's third champion. He joins Volkanovski. He joins Robert Whittaker, who's taking on Reinier de Ridder, by the way. Massive respect to Robert Whittaker. This man is not looking for easy paydays. He's not looking to only fight up in the rankings. He's giving people behind him an opportunity because he believes he can beat everybody. And so does Islam Makhachev. And that's why he's going to move up to 170 pounds. But I'm going to do a whole video on all of that. Now we get some clarity. Now it looks like Ilia Topuria is going to fight Charles do Bronx Oliveira. That'll probably headline International Fight Week at the end of June. But still, Jack Della Maddalena, beautiful work. To think that this guy lost his first two ever professional mixed martial arts fights, goes on an 18-fight win streak, and then goes and becomes the champion of the world, beats Belal Muhammad at 28 years old. Just unbelievable, legendary stuff. Speaking of legends, we got to see Valentina Shevchenko push to the limit, taking 5 rounds against Manon Fiorot, who, by the way, was a favorite with the bookies. I thought that was
number one bullshit.
that she was the favorite, but I'll tell you what, she was big, she was strong, and she was a woman on a mission. She didn't get the job done, but she did push Valentina. She pushed her up against the fence. She got some takedowns. She came in ready to wrestle, but she ate a big right hook right at the end of the first round. Tunk, that snapped the nose. Okay, blood was pouring out of the face of Manon Fiorot. That's why in the second round, she kind of turned into a wrestler. It was a really fun fight. There was some nice display of mixed martial arts, but the experience and the wrestling and just the technical prowess all over. That's what got the job done for Valentina Shevchenko. And then, of course, at the end, we got to see the classic Valentina Shevchenko celebration where she does the dance.
She popped hand up in the air at the big finish.
Virtually identical.
I couldn't be a bigger fan of this lady. She speaks something like 6 languages. She flies planes. She shoots guns. She's like a real living modern day superhero. She should be in the Marvel movies, okay? If she was beating the shit out of some grown men, I could believe that. She's fantastic. Manon Fiorot will be back. And from one legend, we turn to another one. I'm talking about the King of Rio, Jose Aldo. Of course, he missed weight, okay? The fight was moved from bantamweight to featherweight on Friday morning. He showed up. He looked dangerous in the first round. The hands were fast. They were explosive. He was ripping to the body. It looked like Ayman Zahabi, to start the fight, didn't look like he belonged in there. He was dancing around. He was circling the whole time. Aldo was quick. He was aggressive. He was deadly with the strikes, ripping to the body as well. Beautiful work, but of course it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And it finished with Ayman Zahabi having his hand raised and beating the legend, okay? And it wasn't without a bit of drama, okay? In the second round, it was nothing flash from Ayman Zahabi, but he was just picking away, chipping away, going forward, pressuring Aldo, landing little shots, just putting him on the back foot. A close round, not the most mind-blowing round, but an effective round that he won. And then in round 3, it looked like Jose Aldo finished the job, rocks him with a shot, kind of stumbles him back as he's getting back to his feet, he's still on the floor. Jose Aldo runs forward, kicks the face off him like he's scoring a goal in the World Cup, knocks Ayman Zahabi down, but he gets back up and he immediately goes on the attack. And Jose Aldo was absolutely exhausted. There was 3 minutes left on the round. He looks up at the clock and he looked absolutely lost. In the end, he was taken down. He had some ground and pound. He had many elbows driven into his face and he lost a decision. Now, Ayman Zahabi, congratulations. This man is a very skilled fighter and he's a great person, so I'm very happy for him. But Jose Aldo on the microphone was very honest. He said, listen, I can't do this anymore. It's been a really tough time. It's been a really hard week. I couldn't make weight and the body just can't do it anymore.
I think this is the last time you're going to see me. I can't do this anymore.
Well, Jose, congratulations on a great career. You are one of the greatest champions UFC's ever seen.
And it was really sad to see because Jose Aldo's had a legendary career. Of course, when a lot of new fans think of Jose Aldo, they think of the 13-second knockout that McGregor delivered to him. But this man has been a champion at 145, one of the greatest to do it in that weight division. Had a good shot of becoming a champion in the second weight class. It's about 10 years later since he got knocked out by Conor McGregor, and the man's still going strong. Congrats. Thank you for the service. Thank you for the hours of entertainment inside the octagon. The King of Rio, Jose Aldo, officially hanging up the gloves. Now, before that, in the women's flyweight division, Natalia Silva went out there against former champion Alexa Grasso, and this one was kind of a shutout. She was far too quick from start to finish. Grasso had a few moments, like at the end of the first round, kind of bit down on the mouthpiece, just let go with the hands, but she eats a nice little right hook, kind of gets stumbled, but that was the tail of the fight. Natalia Silva was able to dance around the octagon. She was much, much quicker, throwing a lot of fast high kicks, coming down to the calf, to the body, spinning back kicks, and then a lot of footwork, a lot of movement. Now, you could call that running away, or you could call it being educated, being smart, using all of your skills. It was a great fight. It was a great performance. It was very technical. It wasn't a barn burner, far from it, but she did beat a former champion in Alexa Grasso, and you never know. She could be next for Valentina Shevchenko. Alexa Grasso, she'll be back. She's not done yet. Tonight, I thought she looked a little bit flat, but that's just the way it goes. Not every night in the octagon is going to be your best day in the office. So, and then opening up the main card, Benoit Saint-Denis, the French Special Forces guy, put an absolute savage beat down on Kyle Prepperlock. The fight started, pushes him up against the fence, gets a takedown, takes the back, looked like he was going to get an early finish via rear naked choke. Proper leg gets out the first round. Second round, they start throwing down a little bit. We get to see some vintage Benoit Saint-Denis, some vicious knees in the clinch. Drills him one after the other, elbow after elbow after elbow, right to the face. Kyle Proper leg, fair play, man. How he stood there and took all of those shots is beyond me, but he did. But then he got taken down and submitted via arm triangle pretty quickly, but that thing was locked in and you got no choice. My son, I was watching it with him, he's like, why did he tap so quick? I said, I'll tell you why he tapped so quick, because he just ate 20 elbows to the face. And when you've just had the shit kicked out of you, the cardio's not as good, you're not thinking as strongly, you're getting choked out and you're like, what is going on? I want to go home, I've had enough. Fair play to Kyle Proper leg, stepped up on very short notice, took on Benoit Saint-Denis, who's not an easy fight for anyone, but I was a little bit disappointed that the fight with Joel Alvarez fell through. Maybe we'll see that one down the line. Before that, Mike Malott got the job done, representing Canada to the finals, got the job done in the second round with a knockout. Jasmine Jasdavicius got a first round submission over former champion Jessica Andrade. Modestas Bukauskas got a very close decision versus Ion Cutelaba. Those two went to a decision. One judge had it 30-27 for Ion Cutelaba. The other judge had it 30-27 for Modestas Bukauskas. And the other judge had it 29-28, which is probably the right scorecard in favor of Modestas Bukauskas. But it just goes to show that these judges, sometimes they are out of their minds and they don't know what the they are watching. Tonight belonged to Jack Della Maddalena. He's an awesome human being. I've sat down with him several times and had some conversations. Nice guy, quiet guy, a man of few words. But I tell you what, that was an incredible fight tonight. And he'll take on Islam Makhachev. He doesn't care. He wants to be a part of the biggest fights possible. Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena. That's the fight that's going to happen. And that's the fight that I will be doing a video on next. In fact, I tell a lie. The next video I'm going to do will be the Bisping Boys breakdown of UFC 315. Me and Callum Bisping. But you got to be a member to see that one. Anyway, tonight belongs to Jack Della Maddalena. Belal Muhammad, the former champion. His name will be remembered. And I'll tell you what, he's still got a lot to look forward to. He looked bloody good tonight. He was just beaten by the better boxer. Simple as that. Thank you for watching. Members videos dropping almost every day. Lots to talk about coming up. So come back to the channel. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment down there. Let me know what you think about everything what I just said. And I will see you guys soon.